Guys, so we have a bumper of a 2015 Hyundai Elantra, and it literally ripped right off. This little plastic edge right here that holds it to the side of the body completely ripped off. See, it's got the same one on the other side. On this side, this little chunk broke off, and this gets screwed to the plastic cover inside the wheel well. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking a soldering iron and I first made my two contact points on where it initially broke, and then you just rub back and forth and kind of blend the plastic together. And I did that all the way down, and then I'm gonna do it on the underside, and then that will not be strong enough to keep it on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some plastic from this coolant container, and I'm gonna cut little thin strips, and then I'm gonna fill in the gap along the edge, and that should reinforce that seam there, because it's really thin in between. If you can see, the only thing holding really is this thin edge, and then these little tabs kind of reinforce it, which it's it's pretty weak. This part fell out of the body. We're just gonna straighten it out, drill a couple holes, pop it back in. Other than that, like things like this, right here, things like this, see, broke off. We're gonna just weld that back on, just so it has something to hold on. The two tabs that went here broke off, but I can literally cut like a square out, cut like a nice square rectangle out, plastic weld it to here, and then fold it up, and then when I put it on the car, just see where the hole's at and just pop the little retaining clip. But they couldn't afford a new bumper or a used bumper, so we're pretty much just gonna plastic weld the parts that broke off and pop it back on the car. This side, nothing really happened to it, but on this side, the part completely broke off. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take my plastic container here, I'm gonna cut a piece exactly to the shape like that, and then I'm just gonna weld it. I'm gonna weld it to the side here, and then we should be good. And then I'm gonna just reattach this. You see how it all popped off? Well, check it. That little thin line is the only thing that holds it. So if you melt and weld that back on, it's not gonna hold. So we're gonna reinforce this. But can't reach, people. Hold on. Alright. So pretty much everything you do is just press it up tight up against the bumper and just rub back and forth until you melt that little fin, and that's gonna hold on to the bumper itself. Be careful not to melt all the way through it. I'm pretty sure it's okay up here, but we're just gonna go a little past the initial break just to be sure and reinforce it. dry. Move down. Make sure you don't burn your fingers. This is just gonna keep it in its original position, and then we're gonna just reinforce it. We're gonna fill in this whole piece with the plastic from the container. It has to be plastic from like a oil bottle, a coolant container, something like that. It has to be strong plastic, or else this shit ain't gonna catch. If you look at the bottle, it should say what kind of plastic it is. Just back and forth, people. Just wanted to catch. Ah, shit! And that's what you don't want to do. This shit's fucking hot. Okay. So now we're gonna add this little piece. Same thing. Just gonna line it up. And don't press, just lightly rub it, it'll slowly start to melt. And if you do this outside, and you have some ventilation. I'm just doing this here because this is as good as it got. And just take your time, guys. I'm gonna finish welding this in place. Then I'm gonna weld the new piece I'm adding right here, and then I'm gonna run a bead of the donor plastic all along the edge on both sides. And this one here is supposed to look like that. I can either add the little tab that broke off and just, you know, weld it on, or I can literally just cut a piece off the new plastic like that and then just poke a new hole through it. But I'll show you guys right now the finished result. Alright guys, so it's not pretty, but there it is. So pretty much hit it on both sides, welded it together, then I used little strips of plastic and I just reinforced where the cracks were. all the way through. Same thing on this side. All the way through. And then here's my little patch. I just need this to hold the wheel well cover, because it all got scraped off. And to finish it off, I'm gonna use some epoxy, and I'm just gonna run a little bead on both sides. They'll be very thin, just to add some extra reinforcement in case they go to the car wash or get another little bumper bender. It won't freaking crack and fall right off. But alright guys, that's how you weld plastic bumper. She's all done, guys. It ain't gotta be pretty. Just has to work. Oh, this shit's gonna be in the back. This bumper's already fucked anyways. But you're trying to rock it for a while until you get the funds for a new one. This is an option. There's the epoxy. Dry already. Now to put it on the car. It was missing a piece of plastic, so there was nowhere to screw the bumper to. But other than that, I think. My plastic weld is holding good. This part over here, we won't have any issues of the bumper ripping off. I'm just gonna cut the zip ties and then it's done. It was missing a piece of plastic, so there was nowhere to screw the bumper to. But other than that, I think nothing left. It was all torn up. So I'm gonna add these little zip ties in case we want to take it through the car wash. Repair it. By repair, I mean painting, and we just wanted it back on. On this side, there's. Other than that, she's good, ready to go. Let's move on to the next one.